Bring this in. I know we live.
Okay, cool. All right, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. We're just doing a impromptu show, and the topic is going to be regarding the love of money. All right, and basically the concept of money is that it's a powerful tool, and the scriptures say that money is a defense. We can start off with that. Money is a defense. I'll find it real quick. But the scriptures talk about how the love of money is the root of all evil, right? And so we're gonna get that in 1 Timothy 6. But first, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick.
Money is a defense, you say?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 7 and 12.
All right.
I'm already here.
Okay, cool.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
Right. And so it says wisdom is a defense. Okay. So wisdom is more valuable than pretty much anything else, you see, because you can't purchase wisdom. Okay. Wisdom is a gift. All right. And the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is a gift. Okay. But when it comes to physical things in this world, which is necessary for us, in this flesh, we have to use money. We have to earn money in order to sustain ourselves and our households. Okay, and so it says money is a defense as well. Okay, because with money you're able to clothe yourself, buy food, right? You're able to get an apartment. So it says money is a defense too. Can you get the rest of that, Uncle Sean?
God. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
You see that? So the overall goal is to obtain wisdom. Okay, it says the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Okay, so if you have wisdom, that's really where it's at. More so than money. Okay, it just used wisdom, money as an example that hey, you can use money to your advantage, but even more so with wisdom. Okay. So, with that being said,
If I can read it in the NLT.
Oh yeah, Uncle Shah, yeah.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 12 on the NLT. Wisdom and money can get you almost anything, but only wisdom can save your life.
See? So you can use wisdom, okay, to obtain money, and when you have the money, you can purchase certain services and goods, right? And you can pretty much get anything that your heart desires with enough money or with enough wisdom. But it says only wisdom can save your life, and that's the thing that our people they don't prioritize wisdom, knowledge, understanding over money. To them, it's just about money, and they don't give a damn about wisdom, right? So let's go ahead from there. Unless brother got precept.
Oh, Matthew. We can go to Matthew 6
Okay.
and 19. Building our riches in the kingdom of heaven, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bear with me really quick. Matthew 6 and verse 19. I'll read it. You guys can break it down. All right. It reads, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt."
Yeah, lay not up for yourself treasures upon the earth, because in Ecclesiastes it goes into how vanity, basically all is vanity. Everything that you do under the sun, all the work that you put in. Okay, you can build the biggest castle. You can have the world's most biggest diamond, the most intricate Persian rug. Eventually, that shit's gonna go to somebody else, or it's gonna get burned in a fire or whatever. Because eventually, we go the way of all the earth. We have to go back to the spirit world.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what people they don't prioritize. What's going to happen when they come back to the earth, and how the judgment of their next life is going to play out.
Yeah.
They only focus on, okay, how do I maximize my scenario
here and now,
right now, and that's the mentality that Esau pushes.
Yeah.
And our people, they buy into that, and basically they end up getting jacked up by the Most High because they follow in that wicked way. You gotta go.
They're under their impression that death is final.
Yeah, you only live once.
Yeah, and they don't understand that. Hey, man, you reap what you sow. The best thing that you could leave behind, on this side is a legacy, a way. Are you walking in the Lord's way? That's the impression that you want to leave when you come back. Because when you come back, the Lord gonna have you, in good case. But for us now, this is our last captivity. Our main concern should be what? Being in good standing with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, judging righteous judgment, understanding the prophecy so that we're not deceived. You understand? That's how we building up our riches in the kingdom of heaven. Because we want to receive salvation. Like it says in Zephaniah 2 and 3, seek righteousness, seek meekness, so that you may be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Salvation is the
that's the main
that's
thing.
the main currency.
Yeah.
That's what we all seek.
Yeah. That's what Esau going to try to buy on a carnal level with his underground bunkers, but he's not going to be able to avoid when the hunters come and dig them up out of them pits.
That's right.
You see, even if you got some Edomites, they might have spent $500 million for a little 1-bedroom to save himself under that little bunker.
They're just going to be the first batch of slaves.
Yeah. Yep. Was that on there?
Lay not up for yourselves, Matthew 6 and 19 once more. Says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth where moth and rough dust corrupt, where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Right.
So we're putting our money in a spiritual bank account, a spiritual trust fund, to where if when this world crashes, when this whole place goes down, all right, the works that we put in is not gonna go to naught. The scriptures say that the Lord he's not gonna forget the works and our labor of love that we put in, man. He's not unjust. He's recording the efforts that we put in with the tools that we've been given to glorify his name. And so what's gonna happen is our payday is gonna come. Okay, so why for forgetting that, bro?
It's like 2 more verses.
Okay, cool.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Where your treasure is, where you value, whatever you value the most, whether it's your woman, a Lamborghini, a mansion, what else, a vacation or whatever you value the most, that's what you're going to be thinking about all the time.
Well, the best way to put it is, the man values by what he gives his time to.
Yeah.
And if you're concerned with money, you're not going to be giving your time to the things of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're going to be giving it to the world, to vanity.
Yeah, that becomes your idol.
Yeah.
That whatever controls you and drives you, that's an idol. So that's why when he reads down, it says you can't serve the Most High and Mammon, which is money.
Right.
So if you're not giving your time to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that's not your main focus. Anything else is just idol worship at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because it starts in the mind where you value, whatever you desire. Do you value salvation over, anything else in this world? Because it comes down to decision making. People start to compromise in order to obtain those things that they value the most. They start to compromise other things. Yes, they start to compromise their time, but they also start compromising their mental desire. They start compromising the energy that they put in, their aspirations for everything else goes out the window when it comes to where your treasure is.
Yeah, they stop seeking new heavens and a new earth.
Mm-hmm.
They stop longing for that, and they longing for something else.
Yeah. And so when the time comes to make a decision on what do you value the most, because that decision, a life or death decision, most people aren't faced with. They're not faced with that life or death decision to where you gotta actually stand for what you desire and what you believe in. That most people, they don't. That day hasn't come for them yet. But when it comes, then it's gonna be known, like Scripture says in 2 Ezra 16. Then it's gonna be known who is the Lord's chosen.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna show. Okay, look, I'm ready to sacrifice everything for what my treasure is. And we all got to know what is our treasure.
Yeah.
You see? Go on, brother Bubbles.
Yeah. Verse 22. All right. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Yep. So you gotta focus, man. Just like a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass takes all the light from that surface area of the lens and it concentrates it into a small area, and the heat and the light from that area it intensifies it. You see? So where are you focusing your energy? Because if the lens is out of focus, it's not gonna produce that heat, and it's not gonna basically make the best use out of its potential, right? In order to get that magnifying glass to start that little smoke from coming up on that little paper or whatever you used to try to burn back in the day, you had to get that angle just right. You had to get that little light beam just right to where okay, this is it's intense right there, and you got to keep that mentality when it comes to focusing on the truth. You have to make sure that you follow the instructions, right, that the scriptures give to maintain that relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai. You got it, bro.
Continuing on. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
Right. So if you're looking on the things of this world and you're wondering and you're amazed at all the things that this world has to offer, and you're not thinking about what Yahweh Shem Shai can offer, then your whole body's going to be full of darkness. You're going to be spiritually asleep because you're not focused on the things from on high. You're focusing on the carnal, and we have many examples of this throughout the scriptures. Okay, for example, Yahweh Shai called the wicked scribes and Pharisees hypocrites, man. Okay, because basically they were extortioners of the people, because their objective was basically to get money and get fame and get what's the word?
Fill their own belly on this side.
Fill their own, accolades is the word I was looking for from the people, like you said, on this side.
Yeah, status.
Yeah. So that's what Yahweh Shai said to his disciples. Verily, verily, they have their reward because their God is their belly.
Yeah.
Like Scripture said in Philippians. So,
right.
Is there any more on that, bro? I know
it's two more. It goes down to 24.
Yeah, we got to get 24. Yeah.
Okay. Verse 23 again. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
Yeah. So and again, it says if the light that is in you be darkness, meaning the things that you're seeing and the things that you're consuming and the energy that you are taking in is dark energy, then how great is that? How many demons do you have on you?
Right.
How dark does that rabbit hole go for you? For you in your life, because that road and that path away from Yahweh Shem Shai. It's a dark road, you see, and so that's why in America, especially, you see typically extreme examples of darkness. You see, it's not just like it's just a little bad. No, America has gone off the deep end, man. Because this is the borders of wickedness. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Verse 24: No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
Yeah.
You cannot serve God and mammon.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says no man can serve two masters because he will hate the one and love the other. So, if you meet somebody with two jobs, they like one job over the other. They just, man, I love both of these jobs.
At some point, it comes to a crossroads.
Yeah.
Where they're going to have to pick which one is more valuable to them.
Yep.
And the Lord is causing us, with the collapse of this society, that you're going to have to pick. You can't play both sides.
Yeah. Yep. And Yahweh Shai said, because you're lukewarm, you're going to get spewed out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He said, I wish you were cold or hot. Look, let me know which side you on, man. We can't be straddling the fence when it comes to this truth. Otherwise, the Lord, if we show ourselves to be unworthy, of his Passover, eating the Passover unworthily, right? Then we're going to get spewed out, of this holy convocation, man.
Of this communion.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point to where you following after money, you're gonna have you're doing it with people, you're communicating with people to where it could venture off into evil communication.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna get.
yeah. Because you look up
yeah.
communication in that precept.
Mhm.
Evil communication corrupts good manners.
Mm.
That communication goes to communion, which is
Mm.
the sharing of the spirit.
Yeah.
Is an intimate sharing of the spirit. So, are you in the spirit of our Lord, or are you in the spirit of something else?
Mhm.
Mammon, you know.
Yep. Again, it comes down to you start to compromise. You start to basically say, "Oh well, I'll miss camp. This one time. It ain't that
Yeah.
bad." Or "Oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and break the Sabbath this one time." Like you
Yeah.
start to compromise
Yeah.
other things. You start to compromise for other things
Yeah.
in order to fulfill the lust of your flesh. So actually, let's get that.
I get it.
We got to get that in 1 John 2:16, Baba Krishad.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 John 2:16. I'm getting there. All right. It reads, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of this world."
Yep. We might as well start up at verse 15. Actually.
Okay. All right. Let's go to verse 15.
Yeah.
All right. 1 John 2:15. "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world."
Yep. You see that? It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world." So we haven't gotten I guess we can get that 1 Timothy 6, but
Right now.
well, no, we'll get it after. But it says, "Love not the world," because what does money offer you? What can you do with money? You can basically have access to the things in the world. So it really whittles down to love not the world. The love of the world basically is why people love money, because they love the world, right?
Yeah.
So because again, money gives you access to the things in this world, but this whole world lies in wickedness, like 1 John 2:5 talk. I'm sorry, 1 John chapter 5 talks about. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Continuing on, I'm going to just start from the top of 15. 1 John 2:15. "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him."
You see that? So that goes back to what we read earlier, man. In Matthew, you can't serve two masters. You see, it says, "If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." So lusting after, and again, man, we are in the world. We actually physically here, so we have to deal. Obviously, we have to earn money.
Yeah.
But are you willing to sell yourself? Are you willing to sell your soul like these rappers and people getting on camera talking about, "I sold my soul. I shouldn't have did it."
Yeah.
People actually do that. They sell. They sell out.
Yeah.
They sell out for money,
Yeah.
just for money, just to have access to the things in this world. That's where you have to learn. Okay, no, I'm drawing the line. There's certain things I'm not going to do, and that biggest line is when the MOTB gets presented.
And I know people here say that all the time, and they think, it's not that big. It's a big deal because that's you giving dominion of your soul over to a man instead of the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keep going, Baba Krishad.
Yep. Continue on verse 16. Actually, I want to read it in the NLT. Okay. 1 John 2:16 in the NLT. "For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see."
Woo! Hold on, bro. Hold on. Pause. I'm sorry. It says it offers only a craving.
Yeah.
So it's like a drug. It's addicting.
These people are addicts.
Yeah. They're addicted to the world. So
Yeah.
here it is, the Most High looking down at you like, "Yo, man, this dude's addicted to the world.
He's out of there.
He's addicted to hell." You know what I mean? Like you lost in the sauce for real. You in the matrix. If you addicted to this wicked place, where you rather prefer this place. That's like basically you saying, "Look, I'd rather prefer this place."
I think Esau do it better.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I'd rather prefer the world that's full of wickedness and evil and death than, righteousness. You see? That's why Esau, he don't want to die. He wants to live here forever. Because he knows when he goes back up, to the spirit world, he's a low level vibe. He's a low level spirit. He's not living it up like that in the spirit world. He's just sitting there waiting basically for for his ass to get sent back.
That's right.
You know, because there's a hierarchy in the heavens too.
Yeah.
You know. Go ahead, Bob. Or is that was it on that?
Oh no, I didn't finish the whole verse. This is 1 John 2:16 in the NLT. All right. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions.
You see that? Those are all wicked. Those are all low-level vibrations, actions. You know, things that are pleasurable to the flesh. What was the second part that you said on that verse?
It says and the pride in our achievements and possessions.
Yeah, pride. What does the scripture say? Pride go before destruction. Man.
Yeah.
So when you die, ain't nobody gonna remember that or remember your achievements like that. You know, your possessions are gonna get passed on, auctioned off, or whatever. People gonna be fighting over them. You see. So like we read earlier, you know, it's more important to lay up. It's more important to lay up your treasures in heaven because guess what? And this is only available to the Israelites, starting with the elect. There's actually going to come a time where we're not going to die. We're not going to have to leave our possessions to another because we're going to be here.
Immortal.
Yeah. You see?
People,
like
people, you know, had this saying in the world, don't let your possessions possess you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they get possessed by their possessions. They become consumed with it, like it's talking about in this precept here.
I said, well, that's what happened to Lot's wife. That's why she got turned into a pillar of salt.
She longed for those possessions.
Yeah, the angel said, don't look back. She was disobedient looking back, but they had great substance. They was winning. So she was worried about all the possession that she had being a housewife and all that.
Like, my wife sell bags.
Yeah, all that. She worried about all that, and she ended up being destroyed. That's why Yahweh, when he was going to faith, he said, remember Lot's wife. You know, don't worry about these things, man. You give up all these things. We're going to have all those things back in the kingdom, 100-fold. Some 10-fold, 50-fold, whatever, man. We're gonna get all those things back.
Yeah. Yep. After you get done with that, Bible Shark, somebody get Mark chapter 8 and verse 34.
Okay. I'm gonna read this one more time. This is 1 John 2:16 in the NLT. We're gonna read it all the way through. It says, for the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are from this world.
You see that?
Yeah.
And that's the key, man. This world is not the end all be all. The scripture saying second Ezra, this roughly paraphrasing, this place is not where much righteousness do abide. This is a place where wickedness is flourishing. Mm-hmm. You see, America is under control of the prince of the power of the air. You know, the whore that rides on the beast is a wicked, evil country, man. You know, and the beast system promotes wickedness. So from there, Bob Shah, can we go to that Mark 8 and 34?
I got it right here.
Okay.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 34. And it reads, and when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
Yeah. So you know what it takes to deny yourself? Humility. You have to be willing to lose, basically you have to be willing to esteem the things of this world less than the things to come. And, actions speak louder than words. So you can say that, oh yeah, I want to be, one of the individuals that's, ruling in the kingdom of heaven. I want to be one of the ones that the Lord, has mercy on. But actions, man, you can't be a hearer of the word and not a doer of the word. You got to be a doer. So you got to deny yourself, right? Take up that cross. You got to start working for Yahweh Shem Yahushai and follow Yahweh Shai. You got to go.
Right. You got to hate your life too. And there's certain moments, especially when you're first coming in, you got your experience, you hear the precepts and everything, but it's going to come to the point where things happen in your life. You gain certain experiences where the Spirit of the Lord is forcing you to hate your life. Whatever the case might be, whether it's something you're dealing with mentally, your woman, whatever the case might be. But that's the Lord preparing us to hate our lives because this ain't the end all be all anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scriptures talk about how the elect love not their lives unto death. You got it, bro.
This is verse 35. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it.
Yeah. So it says, whosoever shall find his life shall lose it. So you finally done achieved all that you've ever dreamed of. Oh, that movie, Prince of Egypt. You know, that song before Moses basically fled, Egypt. It was a portion of the movie, like in the first part of the movie, where he sung about how he had all he ever wanted, and he was the king, or he was son of Pharaoh. He was raised up, and he had all types of wealth and everything like that, right? And then he went to sleep and had the dream. Before he went to sleep and had that dream, he was basically talking about how Egypt is his home. If you ever watched the movie, yeah. You know what I mean? But he wasn't. But he was like, no, something's off.
Very spiritual movie.
Yeah, something wasn't right. It was just like, okay, you got all you wanted, but still, it's vanity. You see, because the elect, their inclination is to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's nothing. That itch isn't scratched unless we know that unless we know that we on the right path to to salvation. When it comes to the elect, but the 2/3, they don't have that inclination. They just do whatever their flesh tells them to do. You see. And so we got to pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to keep that spirit on us to stay in the faith. You got it, bro. You can read down to verse 40. I'm sorry.
I just ended. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's fine.
That's the point. But yeah, you can read the whole thing if you want.
Come. This is verse 30. Yeah, I'm gonna read down because the whole thing really goes into it heavily.
Yeah.
This is verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
See? And we were talking about selling out earlier. Basically individuals that for some type of carnal physical gain in this little weak ass life, people extort, the servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They extort the children of the Lord for some carnal gain. You see? And that's a very dishonorable thing. Okay, especially when you know better. A lot of people, in order to get the upper hand, you have to, have some type of knowledge in order to be able to take advantage of people. You see? So those are the types of people that's going to be chastened with many stripes, like the scriptures say. You see? You got it, bro.
Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation. And that's why I wanted to continue. Because y'all went earlier going into what the scriptures say, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Because it's adulterous, it's sinful. Obviously, we're here. But if we're of the elect, we're not going to just indulge in it, but know how to move around it and use the world, but not abuse the world, as the scriptures say. But it says, whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. That's pretty much, you got it, brother.
That's your part.
Yeah.
And see, that's the aspect that majority of our people don't consider. Like the scriptures say, what is that in 1 Peter or 2 Peter, where it talks about since the days of our fathers, all things have been the same, roughly paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
They basically don't think that the Lord's going to come back because it's been so long from their perspective that everything's been relatively, like nothing crazy, like the flood has happened in thousands of years. So people don't think that anything could ever happen to them, like on a catastrophic level like that. So that basically, like the scriptures say, because sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Their mindset is short term only, this lifetime only, YOLO. You only live once. So let me go do whatever it takes to get this bag, to get this money, right? And they love it too.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
They did this experiment with children, where they brought 2 kids into a table, and they gave them both marshmallows.
Oh yeah.
And you seen that?
The marshmallow test.
Yeah, the marshmallow test. And they said, okay, you can eat it now, or you can wait 10 minutes when I come back, and you'll get 2. And they do this test. They did it all the way back in the 80s actually, and they said the one that chose to wait, that had the self-control to wait, they got the delayed gratification, which is what we're doing, right? That person, went on to be more focused and diligent and achieve their goals in life. And the other one was kind of just everywhere. You know what I mean? They made a lot of bad choices throughout their life. They did that experiment. It's like, okay, this person is being wired this way. Salakia. This person being wired this way, it leads to, basically destruction, self-destructive habits,
God. Hey, just to add to that, you had that example with Esau. Right. Naturally, he's the, obviously we know according to prophecy, we're supposed to go to Jacob anyway to birth, right?
Couldn't
But
wait.
Esau was the firstborn son, technically according to the flesh.
Right.
You know, so technically speaking, he was supposed to get that birthright, and that was not only going to benefit himself, but benefit his children generation after generation. That's the
Right.
blessing. You know, but for that morsel of meat, he sold it for that instant gratification, for something that's not even ready and all the way done anyway. You know, but that's just a prime example out of many examples that brothers are going into of the key example. That's why you read it in Hebrews where it goes into him being a fornicator, you know, for that one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He couldn't wait just a little bit until it got done, you know? And that's why it naturally should belong to Jacob anyway, because we're very patient, long-suffering people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, also, too, when you look at the wilderness, you know, Jake didn't have delayed gratification when it came to the fact of, you know, the Lord sending manna. Yahweh Bashim Shah sent a water out of a rock. They was over there remembering, you know, how well we had the fish and we had the leeks, the garlic. You know, send us quail. We don't want to keep eating this manna no more. So with Jake not having delayed gratification in the wilderness, the Lord had to whereas they walked in the wilderness for 40 years, and the Lord told him, he was like, man, due to y'all disobedience, all your carcasses is gonna fall in this wilderness, man. The only ones that's gonna make it is Caleb and Joshua. All the rest of y'all gonna die. For 20 years old and up, y'all ain't making it. You see, and when you go into the scriptures, when you read in Deuteronomy the 8th chapter, the Lord specifically told Moses, or I'd rather say, Moses was reiterating pretty much the law to that new generation. He said, look, the Lord had our fathers walk in the wilderness to strictly just to humble y'all, to test y'all. So how much more in this day and age? You know, we're in this wilderness all over again. You know?
That's right.
We can go from there to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 10 to get the thing, and another brother can hold Deuteronomy.
I got the 1 Timothy. I got it on the screen.
16, Deuteronomy 16 and 19.
Okay. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 10. All right. In the KJV, it reads, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." The love of money, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith.
Yeah, you see that? To covet. And what's one of the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not covet. Right? Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor's, man. All right? And so when it comes to that, let's, did you read the, oh yeah.
I didn't read the full thing.
Yeah, finish the whole verse. I'm sorry.
I'm going to read it all the way through one time.
Real talk, them few verses prior, I mean, it's your lesson.
Yeah,
you know
I know.
what I'm saying? But them few verses prior really
Let's
really
go up.
establishes the point.
Let's read up.
Probably like starting like verse 6 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Okay, no, verse 5 is cool.
Verse 5. All right. It reads, 1 Timothy 6 and 5. "Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such, withdraw thyself."
Yeah, because it talks about if any man, if thinks that he knows anything, if he starts to get proud, and he starts to basically puff himself up against those that the Lord set up, right? Well, ultimately, you're gonna make a fool out of yourself, man, and you're supposed to withdraw yourself from those individuals. That's why we don't really engage with these scoffers like that. We don't be debating on them. Trying to prove our point. We just take the low. Because we know that Yahweh Shem Shai is the one that's going to, vindicate us ultimately. Okay? Go ahead, bro. Shut.
Continuing on, verse 6. "But godliness with contentment is great gain."
Yeah. I want to look at that word contentment.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up, but I think that would be good to look up. It says, supposing that gain is godliness, because a lot of people think that, however much assets you have,
Strong's
that's how
G,
much.
841.
You want to play it?
Yeah, I don't know why. My
Yeah,
bad.
go ahead and play it real quick.
Okay.
Strong's G, 841. Austarkaya.
All right. And the definition says a perfect condition of life in which no aid or support is needed, sufficiency of the necessities of life, a mind contented with its lot.
Yeah, you see that?
That's
So
that's
you
it.
you have tranquility and peace in your mind, knowing that you're fulfilling your lot in righteousness, and when it comes to the flesh, because you can aspire to have 100-bedroom mansion and 25 Lambos and 99 wives and 700 concubines, okay, but that can destroy you if all you're doing is trying to focus on that in this flesh, especially if we've been commissioned to do the work of the Lord. You see? So it says godliness with contentment is great gain, because you're going to be more profitable doing the things that the Lord set you up to do anyway, when you're focusing on the things that's within your power, and the things that the Lord gave you the power to produce, man. Ultimately, your life, you know?
I got you, so
Come.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 11 to 12. It says, "Not that I speak in respect of want," which that word "want" here means to be lacking, right? It says, "For I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content."
Yeah.
There's that word "content" again. Pretty much, to be content means to understand and know what you have at this moment is what Yahweh Basham Shai wants you to have at this moment.
That's right.
Like the scripture says in John the 3rd chapter, John the Baptist said that pretty much all things come from Yahweh Basham Shai from heaven. Whatever position and state that you in, right? It says, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. And you can break it down.
Yeah. Being a base, you low, you got to know how to, when that account is at $0, negative $20, you got to know, all right, it's time for me to get my ass up and go to work.
Yeah. Well, you know how to maneuver when you're at a lower state, when things aren't going your way, and you know how to maneuver when the Lord is blessing you.
Yeah.
Regardless, you still hold fast to the conduct. The outside circumstances doesn't dictate how you respond. You still walk in righteousness.
Right, because ultimately at the end of the day, land backing off of both y'all brothers' points, like it says in the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give me this day my daily bread." When you have faith and you understand and know that the Lord, He got you already.
Yeah.
When you in that position where your bank account could be at zero, or your bank account $10 left, you don't get paid till next Thursday. You know what I'm saying? You understand and know through the Spirit. Well, at the end of the day, man, Yahweh Basham Shai got me. He ain't finna have me assed out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you seek the kingdom of heaven first, all things will be added unto you anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Ultimately, just a test of your character.
Yep.
Just a test to see how you react.
Yep.
If you can maintain your integrity when you're low and high. If you're a scumbag when you're low, most likely you money, you're gonna be an ultimate scumbag.
Yeah.
That really reveals who you are.
Yeah. Money just magnifies who a person is, truly. Can we read that in NLT?
Yeah.
I got it right here if you want me to read it. Okay, it's Philippians 4:12 in the NLT, because the Christians, they always go to this precept, but they don't understand the fullness of what it's actually talking about. Right? "I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do all things through the Mashiach who strengthens me." So that's what it's going into. It's not you can be the president. You know what I mean? We're under the curses. It's not just, you can't just apply it to some worldly bullshit. It's talking about through the strength that the Spirit gives you, you can maneuver in any situation.
Right. Yep. That's what it comes down to, man. So, there's going to be instances where we're going to be abased. There's going to be instances where we're going to be, we may abound when it comes to monetary, but ultimately, we got to know that we got to be like Job, keep that integrity, whether you have much or very, very little. You see, because that's what Job did. That was it on that, right?
Yeah, he read it in the NLT. So
okay, cool. Did you have something?
Yeah, something just back up. Proverbs 30:8. I read the NLT. "First, help me never to tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs."
Yep. See, and Proverbs was predominantly written by Solomon then. You see? So it says, "Give me neither poverty nor riches." That's one of the things that the Most High commended Solomon for when he asked him, "Whatever you want, ask." He said, the Most High said, when Solomon asked for wisdom, which we started off with that, wisdom, and is a defense, money is a defense. Solomon asked for wisdom to rule over the people. And the Most High commended Solomon by saying, "Look, you didn't ask for the neck of your enemies. You didn't ask for riches or women. You asked for wisdom."
Yeah.
You see, because wisdom is how you're going to be able to obtain all the other stuff that's not as important, but you still may, may benefit from.
Seek first the kingdom of heaven, then all these things shall be added unto you.
Right.
Verse 9, for if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is the Lord?
Yeah. Oh, perfect example. And of course, he was a heathen, but Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, the Lord kicked Nebuchadnezzar's ass off the throne for some years because he basically, boasted himself against the Most High. And he forgot that, the Lord controls all things. Now, like I said, he's just a heathen, but our people are notorious for doing that as well. They get a few $100,000 or, $2 million from Esau, right? And think that they're on top of the world. Because our people, the majority of them, don't have no type of integrity.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. That's what happened to a person that was a part of Great Millstone.
I was thinking about him
back.
too.
The one in Kansas.
Yep. I was thinking
Yeah,
about
they I believe he hit the lottery or something. Had like 200, 300K.
Yeah.
Bounced. Got a house, didn't tithe to the apostles, and he was gone.
Wow.
Wow.
But 200.
That ain't
That's not
even
even
not a lot of money. God damn.
He bought a house and bro, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why the Lord, he'll keep a lot of brothers on a certain level because our spirit ain't really able to handle, like, I'll say for myself, my spirit might not be able to handle being a multi-millionaire instantaneously. Like, some brothers, he'll increase their income over time to where you get, to that point to where, okay, you got more money than you did 4 or 5 years ago, but you got to earn that. Like you said, that builds character. You know what I'm saying? When you respect the gifts that Yahweh Shem Shah gave to you.
Right.
Even brothers that do get that amount of money, you still see there's a learning curve in that. You still see bros that get their ass whooped.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
catch more hell.
Yeah, you cash out, but there's more temptation.
Yeah.
You have access to a lot more stuff in the world, and so that's a bigger tug at your flesh.
And random hell you catch too. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you good. Yeah. And stuff, but but we see certain brothers in the camp that had more access. When most sides spanks, he's like, "Ooh, shit."
Yeah, it hurt more.
Yeah.
That's well, First Timothy the 6th chapter, as we're reading it, actually the Apostle Paul actually goes into exactly that point. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much how it tells you that pretty much you will pierce yourself with many sorrows at that point.
Yeah.
You got family members that will be hitting you up. You know what I'm saying? Like you hit the lotto for $2 million, and all of a sudden you got your cousin that you ain't talked to since you was in the womb, hitting your ass up. You don't even know who she is. Here she is. Oh yeah, I'm your cousin. I'm your auntie Pat. Like who? Project Pat. You know what I'm saying? Just hit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to change the diapers back. You know what I'm saying? Like you have no clue who this person is.
Yep.
Ain't seen them in 16 years. The last family you ever went to, you have no idea who they are. That's why them songs rang true. Biggie and Puffy and Mace, more money, more problems.
Exactly.
That literally that's what comes with it. You got a bigger bag, but there's hella more issues. You get blessed, now your car's messing up.
Man.
Then you got to spend all that bread on a brand new car. People hit you up, all these different types of things, along with the flesh that's tugging at you. The stuff that you had never had a chance to do.
Yeah.
Now you want to do it.
You gotta want to do it. So it's bigger demons that come with particular accesses, being in particular realms of substance.
I'm sorry.
You good?
Well, I was just going to add on to your point. That's what happened to Israel. The scripture says what? Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, and forgot the rock of their salvation. When you get to that level, you forget Yahweh Shema Shai.
That's what you had hell, right? I know. Somebody said Deuteronomy 30 or 33 or something.
No, I had Deuteronomy 16 and 19 held for it was like a law basically. We'll still get it.
Okay. This is Proverbs 30 and little 9. I'll read over. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is the Lord? And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult the Most High's holy name.
Yeah.
That's in the NLT, right?
Yep. Wow. So everything requires harmony. Everything requires, balance, man. It's not good to go on one extreme or the other. The Lord ain't gonna just have you broke for 10 years with no money, $0, and you just gotta eat out of a trash can for 10 years. Maybe a little phase where you dip down. You gotta, use that credit card because your debit account gone or whatever for a little minute. But the Lord will, He'll put you back up. And ultimately, the biggest payday is when we just get the hell up out of here altogether, and you know, the Lord gives us the kingdom.
The biggest payday is when we taken up into the chariots,
Right.
And our bodies are changed, and we receive immortality.
Yeah.
Because I think what Job 2:4, you know, one of the angels that the Lord uses said, "Bone for bone, skin for skin, all the man hath, he'll give for his life, for his health, and we're gonna have ultimate health with immortality."
Yeah, we're gonna appreciate the kingdom more. Just like when that's why we say, stay down until you come up. You know, if you're in the financial hardship, just chill. Put your head down, work. There's nothing for the Most High to make you rich.
Yeah.
It's just a test to humiliate you and humble you.
Yeah.
And then when you do get a nice little blessed little chunk, maybe a bonus from work, or you get a significant increase as far as your salary, you appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
You'll take more care of it.
Yes.
You'll act
Yeah.
more accordingly, which is why we're going to appreciate the kingdom.
Yes, sir.
And we get it because we've seen
Yeah.
what the bottom looks like.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
We've seen, they say the bottom of the barrel. We're under that black sticky shit, the bottom of the barrel. We see all that. So we're going to appreciate the kingdom, that payday, and that rest when we get it, man. Yeah, as we've seen, it's been so low, it seemed like for a long time, but it's going to be nothing compared to eternity.
Yeah, that's what I want to land back on. You immortal. Because right now, people got one lifetime to get their money. That's what they think, you know. But
See, I'm sorry. No, finish your point. I'm tripping.
We're immortal.
Point, though.
Think about to them, that you live in thousands of lifetimes. Money ain't gonna be a thing by default. Just your long life, you have wealth. It's not gonna be a thing. You're gonna be the ruling nation on the earth. You know, the law is gonna be implemented, so everything the curses are taken off, so everything we put our hand to is gonna prosper. It's so insignificant to a couple bucks here on this side, but you got a lot, 2/3 of our people who are gonna sacrifice something so grandiose, right? That's not a word, but
Grandiose.
yeah, I had to put the S's on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For fool's gold. You had something. You was about to say something.
Yeah. No, I was just adding on to the first part you said, like basically about we don't have anything. The reason why we don't have anything and why we have to grind and all this stuff is because we're slaves. Really, if we was doing what we're supposed to do, we'd have generational wealth. The Lord set it up to where we had our own land, and we would just basically carry on our father's big business, our father's legacy. We would inherit those things that our father, put aside for the firstborn.
Inheritance.
And the rest of his children, because Abraham, he didn't just give, only to Isaac, right? He also had other children, which he gave a portion of his stuff to them too. Yeah. But Isaac got the majority of the blessing,
the big portion.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like that's the fact of the matter is that here as captives, man, like we don't get no benefits. We are on punishment right now, so we really shouldn't be chasing after the bag and all this loving money, right? And I guess we can go from there back to that First Timothy 6, continuing on because we got to read verse 10. I think it was at verse 7. Verse 7. Okay.
I'll start at 6 again though. It's 1 Timothy 6:6. All right, it reads, "But godliness with contentment," because we went and looked up that word contentment, "is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out."
Yep, and people say that all the time. I came in this world empty-handed. I'm gonna go out empty-handed. Those are people that think like that. Those are more spiritual people. Our people they forget, like, yo, man, you was born with no clothes on, with no bank account, no ID, no car, no house, no woman, no children, just naked. And yeah, and that humility that a baby has, we got to carry that on, like, as adults, so that even though we have possessions, we know not if, but when that shit gets taken away, we can't trip because it wasn't ours to begin with.
If you have that mentality, you still can remain pure for the mission.
Yeah.
If you don't have this characteristic or this mindset in regards to what we're seeking after, what we're trying to achieve through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you won't be able to operate properly because you're being tugged in too many directions. You see?
Well, that's the thing about Esau, man. Esau, he feels like with him being in the power that he's in right now, that he will never fall, and that his riches are going to be infinite. You see, and with that mindset, that exudes to exceeding pride, to feel as if you can never be brought down, and that your riches can protect you or save you in that time. Can I read this real quick?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Psalm 49, verse 16 and 17, it says, Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. You see that? So when you die, like you mentioned, you came in this world with nothing. So when you die, all those riches and the things that you labor so hard for to get on this side, the carnal gain, is not going to go with you. Like you had in Egypt, when a king would die, they would put gold and all these different things in the cabinet, and for the afterlife, in the tomb. And all
Nigga keep
that
his
other
heart in
kind
his
of
brain and everything.
stuff. Yeah, like golden teeth and golden jewels and things of that nature. They'll put, and this is for the afterlife. Well, you
Simple.
can't use it. I mean, if you open up that tomb right now, that shit still gonna be rusted, still sitting there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It don't go with you. So like the real riches is this word, because this leads to immortality, like you said earlier.
Mhm.
That's the true riches, is the fact of living forever.
Overcoming death.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's the thing that Esau could never buy, no matter how much money he prayed. We can go from there. Or actually,
Still the
after we
second
finish
Timothy.
that,
First Timothy.
yeah. After we finish that First Timothy, we go to Deuteronomy 16 in the law.
Okay.
And verse 19. But boy, let's finish that.
All right. This First Timothy 6, and I was in verse 8.
Yeah.
All right. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
Yeah, because again, typically when you have access to a large lump sum of money, you do whatever your heart, your flesh desires. You do whatever, that the demons that are on you basically tell you to do.
Elder Yatzizak always says, the Lord will give a nigga all the shit he need to destroy himself.
Yeah.
All that money, they gonna give you everything you need to destroy you. So you see all those stories with lottery ticket winners?
Mm-hmm.
How they overdose,
Yep.
they family knock them over. You know what I mean? All kind of wicked shit, because it just, again, it magnifies the wickedness in a man.
Yep.
Yeah, they end up broke again a lot of times, quick as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to my aunt. She scratched off a $1 million lottery ticket
Hurt.
a couple years ago. Broke as hell now.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Bought bullshit.
Yeah, them Dumb and Dumber IOUs.
Good.
Yeah.
Those are IOUs.
Bought cars. Now they do some good, pay off kids' houses and stuff like that, but ultimately that money gone. You get a bag like that, you supposed to make that work.
Yeah.
for
Supposed to flip it.
Yeah,
That's right.
you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's what a lot of people, they just end up broke because they just start splurging. They go fucking nuts because they have no self control.
Yeah.
And they're not used to having that type of money.
Yeah. Yep. And also, this is a consumer-based society.
That's right.
Yeah.
In which people are taught with all these advertisements: buy this purse, buy this car, buy these shoes, and
Luxury car.
But people don't realize what keeps this economy going is you taking your ass to work. You actually going to work is the reason why everybody across the globe wants to sell you shit, because you actually have money because you go to work. But when you get that lump sum of money, you think that you don't got to go to work no more, and you don't invest it. You just basically spend it, and then you become broker than you was before you scratched off that ticket, man.
Well, it's a difference. It's a difference between being rich and wealthy. Being rich is way. Being wealthy is not. It's a better connotation of being rich.
Yeah.
When you have wealth, that's something you can pass down. You know what I'm saying? And even with wealth, like when it comes to riches, it's more so outward possessions that you have. Like I got this flashy car or whatever the case may be. You got a Lamborghini, Murcielago, whatever. I don't know. Like that. Eventually, you can't pass that down.
Right.
Eventually, you just can't.
Wealth is when people own resources
Exactly.
that make the world go round. So regardless of whatever, people need water. You own the water plants. Your family owns all the water plants over a course of a country. You always need those water plants. That's wealth. You have control over how society moves and functions. That's king's business, which is what's going to be our business in the kingdom. We're going to have dominion over how the earth functions, how trade works, all of that. That's wealth. Jake is so low level, like you mentioned, fucking chain in a car.
Right.
These damn women. I got the new YSL bag. Bitch, you simple. They don't. We're talking about dominion of the earth. People look at us like we. Oh, look at those dudes. Do you realize that we're auditioning for kingship? Where else can you audition to be a king? This is it, man. This trumps everything in the world. But Jake don't see it. But you got to be given that gift of faith and have that eyesight to see this.
Hey, well, that's what Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 talks about. You know, if your desire be in thrones and scepters, you know, honor and wisdom, that you may live forevermore. Because really, that's where it's at, man. Bump everything else. That's the key core of this lesson, is to like drill in our heads that, look, you know, money is cool, but that shit'll destroy you if your priority is money over wisdom.
Right.
Money over Yahweh Shem Shai. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's right.
You know.
If the Lord blesses you, if I may,
Yeah.
if the Lord blesses you with something tangible, you know what I'm saying, like whatever it is, you know, through the Spirit, put more into investment in the spiritual things. You know what I'm saying? That's just something, just wisdom that I want to give to you brothers that are listening right now. If the Heavenly Father does decide to bless you, or whatever the case is, make sure you incorporate the Father's will first and foremost. Okay, dang, well, I got this. Well, I got to go harder for the Lord then, because He blessed me with this.
Yep.
You know, that's the parable in Luke the 12th chapter.
Yep.
The man that got blessed with a whole bunch of money, so he decided to take down and build up a barn. And then the parable said, "Thou fool, thy soul is required this at night." And this is what happens when a person that's not rich towards the Most High. You know,
when you receive something, you even get more time. Your thought process should be, okay, how can I use this to, you know, help perfect the ministry, help build up, you know, what we got going on with the Lord's plan.
Well, that's what a steward is. A steward is somebody a steward is pretty much a worker for a master who has been enabled with the gifts that the master gives them to distribute amongst others. So, yeah, exactly. So with us being stewards of Yahweh Shem Shai's ministry, that's the true riches that we're supposed to distribute. And with us distributing that, what did the Lord say? He said, look, He's like, well done, thou faithful servant. Since you was faithful over this, now you gonna be ruler over this, over more.
Yeah.
That's, riches is self-indulgence, things that you can just get now. Where wealth is something that you don't sustain wealth overnight. Wealth has to come with time. You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing with this truth. Like you planting a seed, your produce ain't gonna come tomorrow. But when it does come, now you can live off that. Now you can live and eat off of something continually.
Yeah.
Passive income.
That was such a beautiful point, man. When you receive, make sure you're putting it into the Spirit.
Yeah.
That's the whole mentality. Well, how can I afford the husband's agenda?
Father's business.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, man. That's why it's important to do that, because you see what happened with Ananias and Sapphira. Everyone at that time, because there was a family group, they were putting together a collection amongst the church, and they were selfish as hell and held back some. What happened?
And lied about it.
Yeah, and lied about it. The Holy Spirit revealed them. They were put to death on the spot, man. It ain't just about one individual. It's about the body at the end of the day. Make sure everyone's taken care of.
Right. And that was in the law. When we received increase, we were supposed to sacrifice the first fruits of our increase to show our subservience to the power that gave us the increase.
That's right.
So let's get that Deuteronomy. Oh, do you read verse 10?
I don't think I got to verse. I think I'm right before verse 10.
Okay,
verse
let's
9.
read verse 10. Yeah, you read verse 9. Okay.
Okay, 1 Timothy 6 and 9. It says, "But they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows."
Yep. And so it says that's the root of all evil, the love, the desire of money, so that you can do whatever the hell you want to do in this world and be a wicked nigga and do, everything that your heart desires. And that is what's going to basically make you from profitable to unprofitable as hell to the eyes of the Most High. You basically just became a person that, is just one of these random guys walking around, trying to basically in the rat race trying to make it.
Yeah.
And that's the situation that you don't want to find yourself in. Because when this paradigm shift occurs, with this digital currency, and you got to choose if you're gonna sell out to Esau in order to enjoy those little deceitful riches that you think you have, you're gonna pick that CVIP, man. You're gonna take that MOTV,
That's right. That's right.
and you're gonna get destroyed. So, yo, you got it, bro.
No, finish point.
No, that was it.
Well, I was just going to land back off everything that you're saying, because even it's heavy is because when you read up in this chapter, beginning in this chapter is going into false teachers and false prophets. You see what I'm saying? So like these different, because you got to remember, the Apostle Paul is writing a letter to Timothy to give to the church. I want to say this is the church in Ephesus. I think Timothy was
He was the bishop in
he was
Ephesus.
the bishop in Ephesus. So when he this letter that he's writing, he went up. He was talking about false prophets and false teachers and how they covered after these particular things. You see what I'm saying? So like even when you look at those who have the word and they're using the word and manipulating the word for gain, for carnal gain on their end. You see what I'm saying? And we don't got to say no names, but we already know the examples of what we see. Using the Passover and using the appointed feast of the Lord as a gain for merchandise, or using the word to sell a T-shirt or whatever the case may be to get money. And with that being said, now you're trimming your way to seek love, because now you diminishing the word. It's about filling your belly versus casting off yourself and pushing forth Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And that's a big problem within Israel, man. Individuals being drowned in their own lust for money when it comes to the word, man. That's a what's the word I'm looking for? That's a recipe for disaster, for lack of better words, man. The Lord does not like that, You got it.
Could I read this precept? GMS Virgin Island Straightgate puts up Luke 17:33. It says, "Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it." Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, man. And you don't want to be trying to save your own life. That's attempting to take the power out of Yahweh B'Shem Shai's hands and put it in your own.
Absolutely.
And that's what Saul was guilty for. That's what, a lot of dudes that got jacked up, man. So many people the Lord offed because they wanted to do things, on their own way. They wanted to go up another way, Okay, so another precept I want to get is Proverbs 23:4. And then whoever had that Deuteronomy 16 and 19, you can get that as well.
I got Proverbs 23:4.
Okay.
Proverbs 23 verse 4 says, labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom.
Yeah. See, you think that, okay, if I make, if I make this, I don't know, whatever amount you want to make, in a year or in a month, then you'll be able to do this and do that. Now, it's not a problem to have goals. Just know that, like, if the Lord does bless you, with a little something extra, if he does bless you with some increase, you got to keep your integrity. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to actually have the integrity to be able to handle that, because Yahweh Shai says, scarcely shall a rich man enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
So it says, labor not to be rich. Go ahead.
Right? It says, labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You gotta get out of your own head, man. Thinking that because when you could labor to be rich, you could think that your riches or your money can save you out of death or something like that. When that's not the case.
Yep.
Verse 5, it says, Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
You see, are you going to set your eyes on that which is not, a house? 50, okay, let's say an Edomite that bought a house 100 years ago or 50 years ago. If that house doesn't get maintained, that shit's dilapidated as hell right now. You see? So you got to think in the future, like, what are my actions going to breed, 10, 15 years, 100 years, 1,000 years from now, after I'm, you got to have that legacy mindset ultimately. And again, when you think like that before you act, that produces actions that are conducive towards salvation, eternal life, laying your treasures up in heaven. All right. Let's get that Deuteronomy Bible shot.
All right. This is Deuteronomy 16
19.
I got it, hell
and
right
19.
here. Unless you, I
Oh,
saw
you got it. I'm
rolling.
just
I
putting it
know
up
you
on the
was-
screen.
Oh, do you think, Juwan?
Yeah, you got it. You can read it, though. I guess got to put it on the screen or something.
Okay. This is Deuteronomy 16 and 19. It says, "Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous."
Yeah. So you're not supposed to rest judgment. You're not supposed to. Meaning, when it says rest judgment, somebody with a little bit of substance, they say, "Hey, look, I know you a judge. You're in a position of authority, so I'm gonna give you this little bribe on the side. I want you to rule in my favor." And you got people that they may take a little bribe. That's how judgment gets perverted. That's how the court system or whatever system that takes bribes, if they out there taking bribes, then judgment, proper judgment doesn't go out, because the people that are in authority basically are not sincere individuals. You see, that was it.
That was pretty much the point on that.
Yeah,
I do got a precept, though.
Okay, Kyle.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, and I'm going to jump straight to the point. And this is verse 24. And it says, "But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation." Now you can break it down, Baba Kishore, bro. I'm going to read it again in verse 24. "But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep."
Yeah, man. Scripture says it's better to go into the house of mourning than the house of laughter, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it says, "Woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation." Because, Esau, he's the one that's receiving his consolation right now, because he's rich on the earth.
Yep.
He has dominion and authority to arrest anybody he wants to, kill anybody he wants to, take over this country, capitalize off these resources, make this law, pass this decree. He's receiving his the Lord's hate. The Lord hates this nation of people, but yet they even have a consolation, right? So how much more the Lord's people, man?
That's right.
When everything gets set right side up, we're gonna get our consolation. Don't worry. This is not time for us to receive our and it sucks to hear that shit. It sucks to hear that we actually have to watch our wicked, evil twin rule over the earth in wickedness, while we sitting here waiting for a crumb to fall off his table.
Right.
But when the tables are turned, we're going to be like, oh,
We're going to
damn.
be thankful for it.
Nah, we was
That's right.
tripping. Nah, this what he had wasn't shit compared to what we got.
Yeah. We're going to be
You know,
thankful for what we're blessed with.
That was like,
It was 2 precepts on the comment board, but go ahead.
well, I was saying that's Psalm 73. I believe the Psalm of Asaph.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
He was complaining because they had more than heart could wish, their tongue walking throughout the earth. Esau balling right now. And he was pissed, but then he said, when I went to the house of the Most High, he went to the scriptures and he understood the prophecies. Then he understood their end.
Right.
So that's what we, always have to remember.
Kind of. Hey, and I'm just there before Baba Kishore, because you brought up a point going into pretty much how we're going to receive our consolation when the time comes, which is absolutely correct. And just to add to that statement right there, to a degree, we've already received it. When you go into that word consolation in the Greek, when it's written, you have the word paraklesis, which is derived from paraclete, which goes to comforter. You know what I'm saying? So we receive the true riches from heaven right now, and that's going to be made manifest into what the priest Ainah is talking about in the kingdom of heaven. That's why you read it in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. It went into how we are rich. We're rich by the Holy Spirit, but that's going to manifest in the kingdom to those physical riches.
Yeah.
But that wisdom comes first, and we receive that on this side. And again, it's going to be manifest physically when Yahweh Shai comes and gives us that reward.
Perfect.
That's what we're looking for. The reward Yahweh Shai is going to bring. Fuck what Esau got to give.
Yeah.
Them crumbs, whatever. Yahweh Shai is going to come with that thorough reward, and that's that crown with those angels receiving that new body.
That's right. That's right.
Perfect.
Yep. And that's why Scripture say, I have not seen, ear have not heard the things what the Lord has prepared for those that love Him. Man, roughly paraphrasing, His people.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine, like, damn, there's something better than this. Like if all you've ever eaten was, Edomite food, like with no seasoning or no salt, no pepper, you can't even think about. Damn, there's actually food that's flavorful.
Right.
The analogy we used yesterday. Remember I brought this up yesterday? I said it would be trying to explain what we're longing for to the 2/3 would be like trying to explain to them a new color.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You have no reference. You can't. You literally, no matter how hard you try, you can't think of a new color. But the gift of, when we've been given this gift of faith, we've seen a new color. We're like, oh shit, have you thought about this? They're like, what the fuck is this
That's
guy
a good
talking
point.
about?
That's a
How
good
can
point.
I
It's a
envision a
mystery.
new color I never seen?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good analogy.
It's a mystery. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because like when you quoted, I have not seen nor ear have heard the things that Yahweh Bashem Al Shah hath prepared for them that love him. When the Apostle Paul quoted that, he was going into this wisdom, pretty much to be us having this wisdom knowledge and understanding. Like this is like a great gift that the world can't receive. Because even when you go down, he was talking about how the natural man can't receive it, but the spiritual man receiveth it. You know what I'm saying? So this is like this mystery is like money. And even going into Esau, I mean, the scriptures tell you what it says that what your riches are. In James, it says what your riches are corrupted.
Yeah.
So even when you see Esau, quote unquote, balling out a control on this side, yeah, he balling on the side in the flesh, but it's all corrupted at the end of the day. It ain't this. Then we gonna have Hyundais and BMWs in the kingdom. We're gonna have green dollar bills with these niggas' faces on it in the kingdom.
Cadillac in the kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the chariot, you're gonna pull out a quarter, man, I want a souvenir. You know what I'm saying? Man, remember, like, no, it ain't that, like, the what riches are today and what money is today, now, it's not even what it should be.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not real. You know, it's all it's all fake.
Yep.
You know? It's fiat, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. And the scriptures talk about in the Apocrypha, if you have all these riches and you don't got no health, your health ain't on point.
Man, I had the hell there. That's a spirit.
Yeah, like it's like, so a lot of these Edomite we see, like, they got the options and all this, but them niggas got cancer, they bloated,
Yes, sir.
the house divided like a mug,
Colons is filled up.
yeah, whatever, so you just see what's on the outside. Don't forget, just what you see is not reality. It's just only what you see. It's other things going on as well.
That's right, bro.
So
That's right.
it was like 2 more precepts I had, and then that was pretty much all I had. I wanted to get an example in Acts, the 8th chapter. The sorcerer, Simon the sorcerer, he was trying to buy the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? That sounds funny. Yeah. Acts chapter 8, and I think we can start at verse 9. Let me see. Verse 9 to 20. And then somebody else can get
This is like verse 9?
verse 9.
Oh, yeah, so it was...
That's where it
that's
starts.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then somebody else can get 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, and that's all I had.
Okay.
All right, this is the book of Acts, chapter 8, verse 9. It says, but there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the city, excuse me, let me read it again. Acts chapter 8, verse 9, it says, but there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one.
Yeah. So, basically on some Janus and Jambres type thing back in Egypt, you had your, magicians and wizards and warlocks and things like that. Fast forward into the time of Acts during the Roman Empire, this guy, Simon the sorcerer, he was on the same tip. He was basically like on some David Blaine.
I was just about to say
You
that.
know?
David Blaine. I was like, yeah, it's pretty
Chris
much David
Angel.
Blaine. They fuck around, be David Blaine. You know what I'm saying? Reincarnation.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
an Amalekite, too.
Yeah. Oh, see. Yeah.
And David Copperfield.
Oh, see. Yeah, and that's Esau's specialty. That left hand, because that's all magic is. It's just sorcery, demonic. It's demonic power, it's spiritual power on the left hand side, basically.
Yeah. I'll get that word sorcery here. That word is maguo.
Magic.
It says to be a magician,
Right.
to practice magical arts. So he was a magician. Like, we see, like you said, David Blaine and these individuals on TV. Like, damn, these people walking around like in awe.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what this Simon was, man. He was a magician.
Houdini.
Yeah, Houdini. Yep.
And, all right, aside,
I remember that. I was thinking about that just now.
Bro, that
that YouTube video going into those magicians, how it was real witchcraft and demonic works. I mean, they was like really doing that
That's
stuff.
really demons doing that.
Yeah, it was demons.
left hand side, you know.
Yeah, man. If I may, man, I was having a conversation with one of the brothers a while back. Since we were just talking, you know, it goes into sorcery anyway.
Yeah.
Just talking about that. But it's like that really shows you that even with that, there's limitations to it. Because with that type of power on the left-hand side, these guys be robbing banks, get trillions of dollars with no issues.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord has it set up for them on the left-hand side just to do that to deceive many.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because with that type of power, you could be a trillionaire if you want.
Yeah.
You know, but the Lord just had to set it up like that just to be a stumbling block.
They had a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but like in the beginning of it, they like it was like a stadium full of people, and it was like a magic show. I can't remember. The movie came out maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, and it was like a live television thing. It was a stadium full of people, and they were like, look, this is a movie, but they were like, the magicians in the stage. They were like, hey, look, we're gonna rob this bank on live TV. We're gonna come back with all this money.
Oh, I remember that movie.
I can't remember the name of the movie.
Damn.
But you know the scene
Yeah, I
I'm
know what
talking
you're
about.
talking
It was like
about,
the
yeah.
beginning of the movie. They basically robbed the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
Yeah.
I can't
I
remember
can't remember the name of it.
They disappeared in front of everybody, and then they popped back up. Or
Or
some
use
shit
the
like
cards and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they was.
that. Yeah, I can't remember the name.
She
of
like threw the card. Or it was. Yeah.
it was some crazy shit like
It
that.
was doing a whole bunch of dope stuff. Yeah.
But like you said, you would think that they'd just be invincible, but there's limitations. There's
now you
limitations.
see me, the brother
And now you
standing
see-
firm.
yeah.
Jim is standing firm. Put it up.
Okay, yeah.
Now
Where you at?
But now
Hey, right.
Where you at?
Over there taking care of business.
Yeah.
I'm messing around.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
So, but anyway, let's go back to that.
I got you.
The water. Which one were we reading? The Acts 8.
Yeah, Acts 8 and 9. It says, I'll read verse 9 again. It says, but there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one. It says to whom they all gave heed, from the least to the greatest, saying, this man is the great power of God.
You see that? So basically, all of those people in that city were deceived, thinking that Simon was some great, person that was esteemed in the eyes of the Most High, because he was able to do certain sorceries and things like that. So he was basically deceiving the people, right? And to be a magician, by the way, you have to know certain things. You're not just going to be accidentally a magician. That shit doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You have to know, hey, look, you got, I'm deceiving these people. You know what I mean? A magician never reveals his secrets. Why? Because that would basically make the little knowledge that he knows, it wouldn't make it of any value because everybody knows it.
He's tearing apart his livelihood.
Yeah.
He revealed a secret.
Yeah.
Well, it's something called the sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Like the definition says, skill, especially in juggling or magic tricks, and magic or juggling trick requires skill with the hands. Like they'll do particular things, whereas they'll have a card or whatever, and they'll do shit and disappear, but the card ain't just disappear into a different dimension.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They do shit just to
Yeah.
make it come back and go on their sleeve and bring it back, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But like you said earlier, there's different levels to different
To that
magic.
shit.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like it really be some shit that people be doing. You be like,
Yeah.
damn,
Taking his arm off and grabbing it out the garbage can and putting it back in. I ain't gonna lie about this.
Hey, yo.
because that's real demonic witchcraft right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them can do portals and shit like
The
that.
paper plate, watch this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga, eyeball go roll down his cheek and roll back. Like, bro.
Oh, chill out, man.
You be like,
That's funny.
down and you be like, watch. And just do some bullshit. He like, he always be in the hood messing with niggas, bro.
Yeah.
Every single
I
time.
got a couple coins to
Yeah,
shake.
shaking the coffee turns into money.
Nigga coughs and it flies out his
Oh man, nah, yeah. But that's spiritual power on the left hand side.
Absolutely.
So and why do they do that? For the love of money.
Man, nigga had a needle come out his eye one time.
Bro, it's crazy
He
shit, bro.
swallowed a needle and it came out his eye.
Yeah, bro. Yo, no, for real. Some crazy stuff, man.
That stuff is real.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It bugged out.
Yep. But that shows you how much more powerful, the right hand side is.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
like that's just some left hand low level stuff which money in this world falls in that category of low level left hand. Just you use it, but you don't abuse it. You see. Or if you need to drop down, I don't know where the part we're talking
says,
about.
but when they believe that Simon himself. Yeah, here I'll just read down.
We'll read down.
Yeah. So verse 11 it says, and to him they had regard, because that of long time he had bewitched them with sorceries. But when they believed Philip preaching the things concerning the kingdom of the Most High in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, they were baptized, both men and women. Continue.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Verse 13, it says, then Simon himself believed also. And when he was baptized, he continued with Philip and wondered, beholding the miracles and signs which were done.
So let's pause right there. So now that shows you how powerful the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai is, man. You had even an extortioner, a witchcraft, warlock, magician, even believed. He even was like, well, I believe too.
The convinced the gainsayers.
Yeah, which shows you obviously that he was an Israelite,
Right.
and that shows you that this truth can cast off all demons. This truth is more powerful. It overpowers anything on the left hand side. You see, because ultimately it comes from the Heavenly Father, the Father of spirits. Anyway, you gotta go.
Yep. Verse 14. It says, now when the apostles which were at Jerusalem heard that Samaria had received the word of the Most High, they sent unto them Peter and John, who when they were come down prayed for them that they might receive the Holy Spirit. For as yet he was fallen upon none of them. Only they were baptized in the name of the Lord Yahushua.
Yeah. So, they were like basically said that they believe in the Lord, but there's a time period that it takes for the Spirit of the Lord to actually come on you. It isn't. You don't just instantly just snap into a super Israelite. Like, okay, you believe, and then you keep pressing on, and then the Lord going to give you more and more portions of the Spirit over time.
Yeah, because also too at this point, what I'm saying, the scriptures tell you, it says pretty much neglect not the gift that is given unto thee from the laying on the hands of the presbytery or the hand of the elders.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, they believed, but at that time Peter and James, or excuse me, it was that Peter and John didn't come down and lay hands yet, because they had that power. Remember Yahushua told them, he said that they're going to have the power to retain and to remit sins. So they actually had power to give through the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, that was going to lay hands on people.
Yeah, heavy. Heavy, yeah.
Which you got to think, when Simon's probably seen that, he was probably like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, Philip was doing miracles. He was doing miracles in the name of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Philip was going hard.
He was going in, So it says, verse 17, or any point? Okay. Verse 17, it says, then laid they their hands on them, and they received the Holy Spirit. It says, and when Simon saw that through laying on of the apostles' hands, the Holy Spirit was given, he offered them money.
Yeah, so that shows you that, you first find out about the truth, you still got certain things you got to work out. You got to cast off that old man before you just start coming up on super high levels in the spirit. Because Simon, the sorcerer, he made the mistake of thinking that you could purchase the Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
You see, because he saw the power that it had. And this thing is bigger than just the miracles. It's the purpose of the miracles is to show that the person that is performing those miracles has power with the Most High, and so that basically that shows you as a token of the fact that the Most High is dealing with them, with that person that's performing those miracles, and to take heed to what that person is saying.
Right.
You see?
Hey, it's to glorify Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
That was the point of those miracles that was being done, to glorify Yahweh Shai, which by default you're glorifying the Father doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's right. So verse 19, back in Acts 8, it says, because this is what Simon's saying now, it's the saying, give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay hands, he may receive the Holy Spirit. And this also proves that, man, it's like once again, there's order. Okay, there's an order to the ministry. It ain't just, you can just start just doing your own thing. You see how Peter and you see how the word was being preached, and Peter and John had to come down and do that next.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's man. Anyways, verse 20. But Peter said unto him, Thy money perish with thee, because thou hast thought that the gift of the Most High may be purchased with money. Wow.
See, that's the point on that. You know, Peter was like, "Look, man, you think that this thing is just a carnal thing? You can buy the spirit. You can buy the spirit. Yeah, you give me $10,000 and I'll give you I'll give you this power right here, like it's some video game. No,
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean? That's not
Tokens.
that's not how it works. You know, that's not how it works, man. The Lord, this is a gift. So how you can't buy a gift for yourself? It's free. You see, but it comes with, or it stems from the Most High selecting which individual he deems worthy at that point in time to have that, that whatever portion of the spirit he want to give that individual. So that's all I had. I didn't know if y'all was anything else. Cool.
Man, it makes me think about that time with Elisha when it makes me think about that time with Elisha whenever he healed Naaman of his leprosy. And Naaman was pretty much like, you know what I'm saying, like, here's the money, like take this money, like I'm gonna try to pay you for like what you did. And Elisha was like, nah. He's like, I don't want your money, I don't need your money.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like urging him, like, man, bro, let me give you this money. And Elisha was like, bro, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't like, hey, look, what did the Lord say? Freely ye have received, freely give. You know?
And when you finish up that account, Gehazi went over and got that money on the low without telling Elisha,
Yep.
and he got cursed with
He got
leprosy.
cursed,
A
yep.
gift destroys the heart. You know?
Yeah, that's actually
So yeah, man, there's many examples, but I believe the point was made, just understand that this world, is a tool, money is a tool, but if you don't have wisdom first, and you don't keep that, as a priority, how about Shai as a priority in your life, then money's going to destroy you.
Absolutely.
I got something.
Yeah,
Sirach 31, 6.
Oh yeah.
Gold had been the ruin of many,
That's it.
and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and have not gone after gold.
Yeah.
That was Sirach. What was it?
Sirach 31, 6-8.
It's rare to find somebody that's rich without blemish, because a lot of people will do anything for $1, man.
Absolutely.
They don't have no type of integrity. And so if you find a man, like, for example, Joseph, he kept his integrity, you see, and the Lord blessed him to be second in command under Egypt, under Pharaoh, basically until his death, so things like that, can be found. Men like that can be found, but, that's all comes from the Lord deciding,
Absolutely.
okay, this man, he can handle it. I'm going to give it to him. So
Joseph of Arimathea, he had great substance, but he used his substance to allow Yahushua to be put in his tomb.
Very beautiful. Beautiful stuff, brothers.
Con. Hey, so Aparatazah, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and those, a great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect.